Okay, welcome. It's Wednesday. We're barreling into the holidays at breakneck speed, and good time to practice some things. I wanted to sort of riff off of or continue on with this idea that I introduced yesterday: the conscious competence and unconscious competence. Right, this place that we get to where we know that we are deliberately doing something. Meaning we're self-aware and we're able to direct our attention and are able to perform certain tasks, be it feeling grateful, be it listening to someone, be it doing something mechanical or tactical. Um, but we're aware that it's happening. And then at some point we get so good at it that it just kind of happens. And in many ways, the ultimate state of that kind of competence is flow. And as introduced by this guy here. Um, it is when we act freely for the sake of the action itself, rather than for ulterior motives, that we learn to become more than what we were. I think that's worth repeating. So it's when we act freely for the sake of the action itself that we learn to become more than what we were. And when we choose a goal and invest ourselves in it to the limits of concentration, whatever we do will be enjoyable. And once we've tasted this joy, we will redouble our efforts to taste it again. This is the way the self grows. Now he wrote a whole book on this. This is his name, and you get extra credit if you can pronounce his last name out loud. And so I just wanted to explore this idea of flow, or certainly the way he introduces it. So here's a definition of flow. It's a mental state in which we're fully immersed in an experience of energized focus, full involvement and enjoyment of the process that we're engaged in. And there's some examples that I'll show you here. So this is a guy called Laird Hamilton surfing I think it's like a 60 or 70 foot, wave. On the one hand, this looks really amazing, and it must be fantastic to be him in this moment. And we can guess that as he's going through this, he's probably not thinking too much, right? He's not ruminating on the past. He's not, actively worrying about the future. He's probably very much in the moment because that's what this situation demands of him. And, when you listen to him talking about this experience in interviews, he describes very much an experience of flow, meaning he keeps coming back to wanting to do this because it's so freeing. It's so liberating in terms of, removing him from this usual mental construct of living in the past or worrying about the future. And in this moment, he's just 100% there, and that feels amazing. And then there's also this situation. Any of you that have played checkers with a 4-year-old, can be really fun, right? If you can really get into the experience, the experience itself becomes really enjoyable. And so there are these two aspects of flow that I want to introduce here. One has to do with the challenge. And so the challenge is either a low or a high challenge, meaning, for me to get on a wave like Laird Hamilton, the challenge would be way too high. I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. I do know how to play checkers with 4-year-olds. And at that point, I'd say the challenge is even low for me. And then comes the question of my skill level. Again, I can't surf those really big waves because my skill is really low, but I'm pretty good at playing checkers, especially with 4-year-olds. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is if the challenge is too high and our skill level is low, we drop into a state of anxiety. It's terrifying to imagine ourselves on surfing on a wave like that. On the flip side, if I am asked to play checkers for 2 hours with a 4-year-old, as much as fun as it might be in the beginning, I might start feeling a little bit bored. And so flow has to do with finding this balance where we balance the challenge of the behavior of the task at hand with our skillfulness. And the reason I'm bringing all of this up is because when it comes to positivity, whether it's mindfulness, whether it's attention training, gratitude, forgiveness, taking in the good, all of these things that we practice here, there's something really smart about knowing where we can find the sweet spot so we can be successful. So, perfect example of that would be, if we sat here and did 2 hours of meditation every day, I'm guessing for many of us, the challenge would be too high and our skill level isn't quite there yet. And it would begin feeling stressful. Um, so let's not do that, right? That's why we do short bursts of 15 minutes of positivity rather than these long ones. So today I want to focus on this, see if we can explore where in your life do you experience this unique state of flow, where time kind of stops and you're really in the experience for its own sake. And yeah, just see if you can feel into where you experience flow or when you experience flow. So let's try that out. Go ahead and close your eyes. And even as we close our eyes and start dropping into grounding ourselves, see if you can connect with a part of you that has a reason for why we do this. Is there an intrinsic sense of joy or pleasure or satisfaction at doing this? Or is there a part of you that is doing it because you want to get somewhere else? Is taking this time out, slowing down, is this the way of getting from where you were to some new place? And just sit with that question for a moment. Is there something intrinsically rewarding about sitting still and finding contact with quiet and stillness that is in and of itself pleasurable or enjoyable? Then extending that out into the rest of our life, think of something that you do on a regular basis. It could be preparing a meal, making a cup of coffee or tea, taking the garbage cans out. Doesn't have to be anything big or profound, but just notice what's the state of mind or the attitude towards that behavior. Is it about getting from here to there? Or is there something inherently satisfying and enjoyable about the process itself? That intrinsic sense of joy and satisfaction opens the door to flow. And if you're noticing some resistance of any sort, you ask yourself the question, what would make taking that action, performing that function, intrinsically valuable and joyful? And setting flow as an intention can really completely change a lot of the day-to-day experiences that we have. Another one that comes to mind for me is driving in the car, trying to get to some place, a restaurant, a movie theater, whatever it might be. Then there's this peculiar stress around finding a parking spot nearby. In contrast to just potentially parking far away because it means that we get to walk or we get to get outside or we get to have a whole other experience rather than just getting from point A to B. Or preparing food is another one. It's a really subtle shift. It can have a really profound impact on how we experience the little things that we do all day long. Whenever we're using our fingers and our hands or our eyes and our mouths to communicate, to take a step back and notice how magical it is that we're actually able to do all of these things. And we can find a completely different sense of joy and appreciation for doing the things in and of themselves rather than just getting from here to there. Go ahead and take a deep breath in. Long, slow exhale. Relaxing the shoulders and the belly and the hands. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Really be present for this next in breath. Feel the slow out breath. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open your eyes, coming back to the session. Hope that one landed. Nothing else, just maybe hold the question of, what is it that I can do differently in this moment to find a little more flow in my experience. Maybe that'll be helpful to add some positivity. Take care, everyone. Hope to see you tomorrow.